and welcome to Ramshackly Acres. Today our video is going to be on the mysterious orchid plant. There's a lot of people that can be a little intimidated by orchids when they receive them as a gift, or they see them in the store and they think they want to get it, but they're kind of intimidated about taking care of that. I'm going to take the mystery away and show you that even someone with a brown thumb is more than capable of taking care of an orchid if you understand the plant a little bit. I'm going to introduce you to orchids in 3 states. The blooming state here, stage where the blossom has completely fallen off and you're only left with the stem. And then the stage where the plant has outgrown its pot and needs to be replanted immediately. So I'm going to show you how to deal with all 3 of these orchids in these 3 different stages. Just want to take a sip of my Earl Grey tea. So the first plant I'm going to talk about is the orchid that's in the blooming stage. Usually this is when you will receive an orchid or buy one. Usually it's got nice thick leaves. This one is doing well. You can see 2 new leaves are starting to grow inside out there. That's always a good sign that your plant's doing well if you see any new growth at all. Now what will happen with your orchids is that you'll start to see root come out the top every once in a while, and a lot of people get freaked out because it kind of looks alien, these green things coming out. It's perfectly natural. It's a sign that your orchid is doing well and is growing. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and repot the orchid, and I'm going to be doing that with another one during this video. So the way to care for an orchid is actually pretty easy. They usually need some type of support stick. They usually come with one. I keep mine in a southern window. It gets a lot of light. You need to find a place in your house where the orchid seems to thrive. They don't need a lot of water, okay? So it's usually about a half a cup per week, every 5 to 7 days or so is what I do. Or so of water right into the middle there, and I leave it alone. This orchid was in bloom, at least when we got it, for about 4 months. Just this last week, it lost all of its little blossoms. One by one, they dry off and they fall off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to care for this orchid exactly the same way as if it had the blossoms. Eventually, a second shoot will come out. In fact, I think that might be one that's starting right now. If you can look in here, right there is a shoot that's going to come out and start to curve upward. The other orchid sat for almost an entire year before another shoot came out. Don't worry about this just sitting here looking a little bit homely and a little ugly. It's just waiting for its next burst of life. Now here's the orchid that needs the most attention. In fact, it outgrew its pot. It's been so long in the making, in the kneading, that its new shoot has actually grown out, and you can see the small little bud areas where the flowers are going to bloom. What we're going to do is we're going to repot this orchid, and then we're going to stake the stem up. Take a little bit more Earl Grey. So good. All right, this might not be the best angle ever, but what I want to do is I want to tell you that you need to find a pot that's a size larger than what you already have your orchid in. Next, we're going to pull out the orchid from the old pot. I like to trim the extra roots. I know it feels like you're kind of getting rid of some growth that it might have needed, but it's just going to make it easier for us to fit this in nicely to its new home. These are a couple of old stems that I'm going to trim off as well. Because watch out, if you have a brand new stem like this, you don't trim that. So a lot of the big ugly roots are gone, and we're going to pull this out. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So here we are. You can see inside how much these roots have grown. And what I'm using is just this raised bed soil. It's nice, it's brand new, it's got lots of nutrients in it. It'll be perfect for an indoor house plant too. So you can kind of use whatever you want, but I've always had very good luck with just plain garden soil. Doing videos with one hand is so not fun. Getting soil under your fingernails and on your hands is very, very good for you physically. That's proven fact. And there it is in all of its rooty glory. It does almost look alien, doesn't it? Especially when the roots are exposed to the soil on top. They look so creepy and strange. Anyway, into the pot it's going to go. This pot, it's not huge, but it's bigger than the other one I was going to use over there. And this sits beautifully inside. You just put it down. You still have an inch and a half or so of dirt on the bottom. Place the orchid down, and you can see how it comes up right about to the top like that. So that's perfect, and I'm going to fill dirt in around the edge. So I'm stealing the stake from this other orchid. This is just a dried up old stem, so I don't even need it. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to use it in here. So here's the new growth. So you want to train it to go up. I'm going to stick the stake in pretty deep there. Now I'm going to get something that will help me. Just bring it over and attach it so it will stay and it will grow straight up and have more blossoms. Whew. Okay, so I secured it to the stake, and I'm a little freaked out because I heard a tiny crack when I secured the little wire there. I hope that everything will be all right. Another nice touch to finish off planting the orchids is to put some moss down on top of the soil, and that will help the moisture stay in and just give the plant a little extra protection against getting dried out in between waterings. You can see it's kind of protected all around. Maybe I can tuck a little bit more right inside there. And then be nice and protected and ready to go back in your windowsill. So there you go. Well, thanks so much for watching this video on orchids in all of their stages. I really love making these videos, so please click like or subscribe. Don't be afraid to buy one when you see one at the store. They are beautiful and exotic, and they're really not that hard to care for if you have a little bit of knowledge. See you later from Ramshackle Acres. Bye!